Hey there, thanks for joining us at the Rabbit Hole of Research, where you'll learn a few facts that you can impress your friends with at a party.
Well, here we are, back down in the basement studio for another fun episode of the Rabbit Hole of Research, the podcast. I am Joe, and I'm here with...
You got Nick.
It's just us here, hanging out, having a little fun, doing this thing. So this here is episode 14. We're going to do Regeneration.
I mean, I can't believe we've made it this far, Joe.
Yeah, you know, we're here. We're still kicking. We regenerate every...
We die at the end of every episode just so we can regenerate.
Come back. So we're going to explain how it's done.
Hey, I think we have some really good timing with this episode, too.
That's right. There's a new flick coming out.
Are we going to go see it? Is that what's happening?
I think we have to. So there might be. Well, we'll see. We've announced things, and some of them, like, we don't have video yet, and I think we talked about that in some other episode.
It's coming down the line.
It is coming down the line. We're talking camera angles, numbers of camera.
We might start off something small first. Like
very small. But yeah, July 26th, the release Wolverine and Deadpool.
Woo!
Are you excited? Marvel coming together. This episode will come out, and then a couple days, Wolverine, Deadpool. They're all about regeneration. That's like what they do.
I feel like that's most of Marvel characters, apparently.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just going through them, and so many of them are like, "Oh, guess what? I regenerate," and it's like,
We'll get into that. We're still handling the business end of things. Nick and I were talking about doing the episodes come out every other week, but we were talking about throwing in a little mini episode because people like hearing from us. So we can do one where we kind of recap if we missed anything in the episode we recorded that came out. But the other thing is we talked about maybe talking about what we watched or read and things like that, because we watch and read some cool things. We try to tuck it into the episodes. So, all right, well, something to look forward to. I don't know if it doesn't happen. Maybe
we'll just cut it out. We'll cut it out. No one will ever hear this.
It's already be out. They're here
I mean, if they don't hear this, there's a good reason.
Back in time travel. We'll go back to episode 10 and time travel, and let's cut this.
100%.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. A little bit of regeneration. Go in, sort the hand wavium from real, actual, factual regeneration. But before we do all that, maybe we should talk about what we're drinking. What do you got?
Oh, tonight I have Galactic Grizzly by Sun King.
There it is.
And I'm also drinking Liquid Death because, of course, I am.
I don't know why you pause. Like, you usually have like 10 drinks over there.
I've only had 2 for like the past 2 episodes at least.
I don't know what's happening.
I mean, someone can go ahead and fact check me.
I know.
Actually, 2 episodes ago, you had 5 drinks.
Yeah, I'm here rocking the Turbo Reaper from it's IPA from Three Floyds right here in Munster, Indiana. And so then I have I have water like I always do. Every episode, there's water right there.
Just in your bottle.
The life
Good
juice.
old tap water.
Good old Northwest Indiana tap water. All right, yeah, let's jump in here. So limb organ regeneration, kind of set the scene, refers to the biological process by which an organism can regrow lost or damaged parts of their body. And this ability varies widely across species. It involves complex cellular, molecular mechanisms. I think most people most familiar with maybe the salamander or something where you loses its tail or a limb and they can grow it back. So that's kind of, probably what we think about when we think of regeneration out in the wild. And what kind of...
Doesn't that one fish do it too? The pink one with the little...
The axolotls?
Yes, that's the one.
Yep. So we have salamanders. I mentioned that, the axolotls. They can actually regenerate parts of their spinal cord and brain.
I think most...
Planaria, so the flatworm.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a little flatworm with the... You've probably seen it in biology classes. Starfish. You're familiar with starfish?
Most plants, I'm pretty sure, can regenerate.
The plant.
What plant can't regenerate?
I don't. Well, there might be some plants. I don't have to think about that. I was limited just to animals, the animal life.
I mean, a plant is living.
A plant is living. You're absolutely right, and they can potentially regenerate. It depends on what you cut off, right?
I mean, most things, I'm pretty sure.
No. If you like cut a tree in half, you fell a tree, it probably isn't going to regenerate.
That's why I said most.
Right. So
I mean, can it though?
No.
No.
I mean, you could try to root the part that felled and see if it can reroot, but it's like regeneration in animals, you have to get back to a state of undifferentiated cells. We talked about this in the cloning episode. Like a stem cell is undifferentiated. It has not determined, its fate wasn't determined. So when you cut the tree at the trunk or whatever, and you put that back in the ground, it may not have cells at the like apical meristem that actually are undifferentiated and can grow. So a lot of times when you do techniques, you have to have like an apical meristem part on a tree, or if you grafting on things like that. So you're doing techniques, but it's just not you fell a tree and it's shoving in the ground. It may, depending on the tree or the plant, but probably not the best way to.
So don't go around
clone
doing that.
trees. No, there are better ways to clone trees where you have to do a little more care. Like anything, if you cut a stem off, the stem doesn't necessarily regenerate. Like you don't start growing out of the wound site. Let's say that's the wound site where you made the cut. Actually, it'll probably be the apical meristem a little bit down in between, stem pieces or branch pieces or whatever type of plant that will actually grow the new growth. So yes, plants can regenerate.
That
could be in the mini episode.
Really love just throw curveballs at you,
just
Joe.
right there. But plants could regenerate as per our definition.
It'll be in the footnotes.
Let's see. So other animals, we had the zebrafish. I said the starfish, the Mexican tetra.
What? What
the
is
tetra?
that?
Like, it's a little fish.
We're still on
aquatic
fish.
A lot of them are
There's
aquatic.
so many fish.
Sharks, they don't regenerate limbs and stuff, but the teeth. They regenerate their teeth. Sea cucumbers can quickly regenerate internal organs. Lobsters can regrow claws, legs, antenna. Chameleons can regenerate tails, limbs. Sea spiders, they can actually regenerate entire body parts. So
interesting.
A few more interesting. The lamprey is kind of an eel-like creature. It has a head with all looks like the teeth there. You've seen pictures of lamprey. But they're kind of interesting because their neural cord, which is similar to a spinal cord, can be severed or injured, and it will actually regenerate in connection and return to function. So really kind of really cool process how that works. And
so Doc, I have a question.
Calling me Doc, that's serious now.
Can we use these animals to start regenerating humans?
Do you mean like we're gonna?
Yeah, I'm gonna graft an ocelot onto me.
I'm gonna go with a lot of hand wavium. We can get there. But no, I think that's the more question is, can we use the techniques or study how these animals actually regenerate, some of the mechanisms that they use, like cell proliferation.
We'll edit that out, don't worry.
Proliferation. There you go. We edit everything. We record 3 hours. We get down to 45 minutes. So no, that's
a lot of hand wavium that we do.
A lot of hand wavium in the editing room. So cell proliferation, so after you have the injury site, you would just then kind of rapidly grow cells. These would be like stem cells, and they would be there in these undifferentiated cells, and then they would start to differentiate into the various cell types that are needed to replace the organ or limb. So you'd have that. One other process is morphollaxis. And so, if I might have pronounced it incorrectly, so you guys out in the real world can yell at me.
I'm going to use my spam accounts to just start bashing how you said that.
That's right, yeah. Just fill the DM up. The most classic example will be kind of like the Hydra. People think of that. And so you take a Hydra and you cut it in half.
Two more grow back.
It has a foot. No, that's in.
Oh.
Well, okay. We can touch upon that. I mean, we just
Is that
jump
not
right
what we were
to
talking
the
about?
MCU, remove
That's
two
Greek.
heads, and
That's Greek mythology, right?
it is. But I thought you were giving it to Hydra.
I mean that one too.
Red Skull. Like you know.
the whole Hail Hydra.
That's right.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cut off one head, two will grow in its place.
This is gonna be a really MCU heavy episode, isn't it?
Maybe. It may got a little couple twists and turns in here. But the Hydra, the little aquatic animal.
There's an animal?
Yeah, it's an actual thing.
Oh.
That
I did not know this. I just
it's
always
a real thing. You should read the show notes, Dan. No, it's a real thing. It has like a head with tentacles, and it has a trunk or foot. And then if you sever it in half, the head part with the tentacles will grow a new foot, and the foot part will grow a new head.
Oh.
And then if you cut into 3 pieces, so you get a middle section, a foot section, and a head section, then a head section will grow a foot, the middle section will grow a head and a foot, and the foot section will grow a new head. But this morphallaxis, what that means is you actually just use the remaining cells to create the new one. So you make a smaller version of the original. So the proportions then would be just smaller with what's left of the cells. So you kind of make this new functioning creature, but a lot of the new growth comes from already persistent tissues that are there in an organism. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's just wild. I'm still stuck on this is a real creature.
It's a real thing. and you're right. You have that.
That's why I'm like, wait.
Yeah. So the Greek mythology one, that was the Hydra guarded the underworld, and it was killed by Hercules. Mm-hmm. And Hercules
in the Disney movie, it was definitely slaughtered.
Had to cut all the heads off and then burn it. And then Jason and Argonauts, when Jason was there to get the golden fleece, and classic Ray Harryhausen claymation stop motion.
Yeah.
There where he's fighting that
Hydra,
and he goes, and then for regeneration, that Hydra didn't regenerate heads. It was just kind of a fearsome beast. But the regenerated skeleton warriors from the children of the Hydra's teeth. And so they threw the teeth out and said the little wizardry thing, and then those little skeletons generated out of those teeth. Do you remember that? They had the swords and the shield, and they marching around. I mean, that's just classic. Go see that if you haven't watched in a while. It's one of my favorite scenes just to kind of check out and watch. But they regenerated. Right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Whole skeletons right there. And that's 100% hand wave. So do you want to jump into Marvel? Or
yeah,
let's go? Wolverine? Deadpool? Who do you want to go to first? I got the skinny a little bit. I did a little digging on both their kind of histories, and Wolverine's like one of my favorite characters. So
I mean, I was actually going to start with Deadpool because
we can start with
he has the cancer cells that
he does. That's right.
Is constantly breaking him down, but then the healing factor is.
That's right, from the Weapon X experiments that he got from Wolverine. So that's why I was going to start with Wolverine. But I know that's okay. and my favorite, I
just wanted to see you move your notes all over the place.
No, it's fine. Yeah. His healing factor, right. So he's like in a constant state of cell regeneration, and his cells are dying and regenerating.
So how would that actually work in real life? Is that something that we could push forward with, all right, we have all these animals that have this ability. Is there any way that we can mimic that to help cancer patients? Or is it just that's way too far out? No,
it's a good question. And there's some research with the animals that can regenerate, like salamanders, I think, and maybe the axolotl. There was a couple in there that they've tested, but they don't actually.
Just like Doc Connors?
They don't get cancer, or they get it, but then they're healed of it. So what is cancer? Cancer cells are characterized as cells that divide uncontrollably. So our normal cells, they grow, and they're programmed to stop growing with different signals. When they make contact with other cells, they don't supersede their checkpoints. Also, normal cells have a particular lifespan, so they only divide so many times before they stop dividing and die and get replaced. And that was the Hayflick limit, or the Hayflick phenomenon. He had measured this out with cells and said, they will stop growing at this particular point. And cancer cells are thought to be immortal. Like they actually will just keep dividing and dividing and dividing, just kind of unchecked in this way. And so that's kind of the issue there. So kind of the thing is understanding how this unchecked cell division is happening. And then the next thing would be, once you understand that, can you actually use that and control it in some way to actually have these cells come in and then regenerate whatever you're trying to regenerate. So if you're talking like an arm, I mean, you have a number of cells in your arm that would have to regenerate in the correct way. So you have bone cells, you have vessels, arteries, veins, the structure of your joints, cartilage, all the way up to your fingertips, fingernails, that would have to reform to actually create that new limb. So it's not as simple as just growing a big bolus of cells. Those cells also have to work in concert and understand what they're trying to reform. Like, so they have to actually go, we're trying to make a new arm, and this is they have the instructions, but they just need to work together. They need to send the right signals to each other so that the right tissue development will form and actually create an arm, and hopefully it's a functioning arm. It's not like Harry Potter where you
So you're saying that Dr. Connors, his work was not actually going to work.
And Dr. Connors did. Sorry.
Dr. Connors, the lizard.
Oh,
he spent so much time working on that one project where he ended up turning himself.
No, I mean, so all I'm saying is that the pathways to regeneration in cancer, you can think they are probably closely related, right? And so as you go, one could imagine that may be a pathway because you have this quick, rapid cell growth. It's unchecked. If you can program it or tell it the programming to actually make the new organ, potentially it could do it, but it's kind of, you have to understand that process. So yes, it's probably the right thinking. Like if you're studying regeneration at some level, you could be studying cancer. I mean, it's a bit different because the question is different. One is healthy cells that now are dividing uncontrollably, and the other one is we need cells to divide not necessarily uncontrollably, but they have to de-differentiate and then start growing to form the new organ.
So
in a controlled way.
Would it be possible then to go ahead and have an inorganic material in it as well? So like cybernetics, would it be far-fetched to have that with the organic cells that can reproduce themselves?
No, that's like you're right there. So that's like you get bioelectronics. So that's like kind of what you can do there, and you can have these. You would integrate these kind of rigid or different types of materials to interface with the organic to try to do things exactly like that. I mean, even from biosensors to actually trying to reform different bits of organs so that they can work together and they can communicate and have that. So that's a field that's happening. And
is it really?
You see that? Right. Yeah, no, there was just some research out of University of Chicago, the Professor Bojitan's group. And the other thing is 3D bioprinting. And I went down that little rabbit hole and watching Fifth Element. Remember Fifth Element? I'm not going to spoil anything, even though I think the time limit has passed. You have the scene where the Fifth Element, Lilu, is in the ship and it's destroyed. And then they recover just the one arm. And they go, oh, there's a few functioning cells. And they throw her into the machine. And it starts to put back together the body, like slice by slice. And it rebuilds. And it's a cool visual for the movie. But essentially, that's like 3D bioprinting.
Interesting.
And that's something, that is a technology that's being worked with. Just kind of like a inkjet printer, except with, cell factors and cells in it.
And going to a human body.
Well, right now they're trying to print organs, things like that. But that's it. And once again, there's complexities there because the organs are three-dimensional. You have to then form these. The cells have to communicate and work together a lot of your organs are made up of different cell types. So it's not like just one cell type and you get the organ. The tissues are made up of, could be made up of multiple cell types, different tissue types, and they come together to form an organ, which then will form systems. So if you're trying to do this, you do have this kind of issue, like how do you get cells to do different things when they're supposed to do the different thing and kind of grow? So there's a lot of science in that, and cell factors and signaling factors happen. But the other thing is then you know, people are making scaffolding. So then you would have the scaffold of the organ, and then you would seed different cell types in that as you go, or as you create it, to try to get back to the organ that you're trying to make. So
whoa, that is
so.
I was not expecting that to be an answer.
Yeah. It is, but still, like the fifth element, bioprinting, is probably not the way.
Is it still work. Like a little far out?
That's a lot of hand. That's 100% hand waving.
So you don't think like we can have like a 3D printer that works with human?
Yeah, with Mimo groups or whatever. They had humans had 20 or 40 Mimo groups, and Lilu had 20,000 Mimo groups. I don't know what a Mimo group is. It's like some made up thing. Like that's 100% from the movie. It's like the Mimo groups. But I was thinking,
I just like the way it sounds.
Right, it sounds cool, and it sounds like she's perfect. Right, that was the idea. But the other thing, we talked about this in the cloning episode, that after you 3D print this new Lilu, how does she have the memories? And I know in the movie she woke up and she couldn't, but I mean, she could speak some language. She kind of knew her purpose, and then she was going. So how did she get the memories? And then I was like, well, maybe that's what the Mimo groups are. Maybe they're some cellular memory, because like your memories aren't in every cell. Like, you know, that's a different process.
Like she would have to relearn everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Just like we touched. Like
right.
Oh, if you touch fire, it's hot.
Right. Right. I mean, but she got up and started to just go. Like, you know, she was jumping out windows and the cab and big bada boom.
I mean, I wish I could do that. I can't even do that, and I have my somewhat of my memories.
Bada boom.
As far as I know, I'm not a clone.
Bada boom. So Wolverine, let's touch upon him. And his healing factor is his claim to fame. And part of the healing factor is he can rapidly recover from injuries, resist age, regeneration abilities that he has along with that. And so,
I mean, but he still does age, just at a slower.
Slowly, right? That's right.
Like, because we get that in Old Man Logan.
That's right. So he is aging, but just very slowly. And so you kind of can think about it there. Unlike Deadpool, and we talked about that he probably has highly potent stem cells, potentially, that can quickly differentiate into any cell type he needs.
I mean, Logan's come from, like, complete death.
Right.
And completely regrew himself.
So, you know, probably have all these, you know, his blood probably would have a lot of cell factors ready to go, elevated hemoglobin, so that he can have this oxygen delivery to have this kind of accelerated repair and cell growth.
Which part would grow first? Like, would the skin just be laying there on the ground like a bag, and then like it starts inflating like a balloon?
Right now, what I mean is it I mean, what's the injury? Like, you're like his skin got lopped off, like a chunk of skin got cut off and it's on the ground.
No, like if he was like completely down to just the bones.
Yeah.
Or just bones. Like, what would happen first? Like, what part do you think would be?
You would start to.
Obviously, the blood isn't going to just show up first, because then it's just going to be laying on the floor.
Whatever's left, right? I mean, you have to. I mean, that's where you get a little bit. So I wasn't that part. I can't explain. You're just a drop of blood. You don't have any resources. You need energy. You need these cell factors. You need to be a large puddle of blood. A significant amount of blood and tissue needs to remain. I don't. The whole regeneration from a drop of blood. Too much hand waving there. So,
but like I
was
feel
speaking more. I mean, regenerating a hand, a finger, arm.
No, I went full body.
I know you did, which is a good point. But just as we talked about with Lilu, it's hard to come back. And then memory wise, like you really would have zero memories.
And yet he comes
It's
back
not
with
in that
everything.
little. That's right. Yeah, it's not in that little juice of blood that's on the ground.
I kind of do hope that he would just come back like skin first. And then
right. Yes, you would have to do something like that. Well, you have to get your vascular system back. You probably need the brain. I mean, that's telling everything else what to do. I mean, so you would have to you'd have to get there
you're
first.
Just gonna have the brain. Like,
I think that's it. To switch that.
I
keep going.
I need Marvel to contact us and tell us what comes first.
It's nothing comes first. They can't. It's whatever you want, however you imagine it. That's how it happens because it's all hand wavy
just
from
a bag of skin on the floor.
That's it. Bag of skin. The other thing you need is, I keep bringing this up because it's an important point, is the caloric load that's needed to do this. And so
I feel like that is for everything.
Went down this rabbit hole pretty hard because I got some interesting facts here, I think, and maybe Marvel will chime in. So it's kind of through everything in Wolverine's activity that he burns about 2,500 calories per minute while healing from a major trauma, like potentially having a limb bisected or cut off or something like that. For a 20-minute battle, Wolverine would need to consume around 50,000 calories. And so that's, equivalent to eating dozens of Big Macs.
His diet has to be insane.
To maintain his healing ability, to maintain his physique and healing abilities, he would probably have to consume around 10,000 calories per day. Just kind of sitting on the couch, doing nothing but chilling. 10,000 calories a day. And that's not impossible. That's about similar to the Olympic swimmer, Michael Phelps.
Damn.
When Michael Phelps was in training, he would eat about 10,000 calories.
So do these calories also include all his drinking?
The alcohol does have,
as long as he's not drinking low
these
calorie.
beers we're having are not calorie free. So like but it's right. I don't know how alcohol metabolism would affect that. Generally, when we drink alcohol, our bodies process that first because that's the toxin. So if you drink beer, eat food, it deals with the alcohol first and then gets to the food. So I don't know how his body will do it, but all I'm saying is that he needs to eat a lot of calories. And so his food bill is intense. And that's probably why he stays at the mansion with Professor X.
Well,
because
yeah, free food.
It's like he's just there, like, just eating.
I would love to see a comic just of a day in Logan's life.
He would just be eating.
Just eating.
He wouldn't do anything else. I don't know how he goes out and does any. That's why he's always angry, probably. He's probably just hungry.
He's hangry? Is that what?
Extremely angry. And that is.
Man, he should have had a Snickers.
Explain it. That's or he needs, I don't know, what, 5,000 Snickers or something? I mean, that's. Yeah, he needs quite a few Snickers. But yes, I'm going to go. That's why he is an angry man. Yes.
I can see that. So another Marvel character that heals, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, is Groot. Groot, who is a plant, heals.
Groot is not a plant.
He's a tree.
He's not a tree. He's something else.
Yeah, he's something, but like essentially he's a tree.
He is not a tree.
He's as much of a tree as Rocket is a raccoon.
I don't think Rocket's a raccoon either. Well, they said they had his little baby raccoon. I don't know what he is. He's not from Earth.
I have no clue. You looked at me like, oh yeah, I
No, because they had him on Thor's planet, Asgard.
Did they?
Because they used to call him rabbits.
I thought Thor was just calling him a rabbit.
No. Remember when they went to get the one stone, the liquidy sludge stone. Which one is that? I can't remember.
Rage?
There's no rage stone. I'm trying. I can't remember it. The one that Jane had been infected with, so they had to go to Asgard. When they did the time heist, they went to Asgard, and then the guards was chasing Rocket, and they were like, "Come back here, rabbit!" And so I think there was some familiar creature on their planet.
Interesting.
That looked like.
Yeah, I don't actually know what he would be other than looking like
he looks
a
like
raccoon.
but I don't think he's a raccoon.
Reality Stone.
Reality Stone. There it is.
That's what it was.
Should have got that one, not the Rage Stone. Raging. Wolverine's raging because he's not having enough to
I
eat.
mean, it caused everyone rage. Like,
But Groot, he's not a plant. He's some other organism.
yeah.
I'm going to call it, yes. I'm going to give him his own category of organism. I'm not going to offend the plants. I'm not going to offend the Groots.
I'm just saying he acts like a tree.
He doesn't act like a tree. I've never seen any tree act like that.
You don't? No?
No.
Have you not watched Lord of the Rings?
We've been through this.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
I've admitted on some other episode that I've not
That's a
watched
future
Lord of the-
episode. You're acting like a time traveler now.
Not watching. No, it's on another. If folks are listening, it's on another episode. Go back. Yes.
It's a future episode.
No. Is it? Oh.
It was the one we did with. It was I think it was a telepathic one. No.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe you haven't heard that episode yet. All right.
I think we're a little loopy tonight.
I know. We're recording a little later than we usually do. I thought I talked about this Lord of the Rings thing. But you're right. We talked about it, but yes,
It could be in the future. It could be in the past.
this happened on another episode. That's probably in the future or the past. May or may not have happened. May or may not happen. I don't know. We've gone down the rabbit hole, but here we are.
Yeah, another one or two that I have is, didn't one of the dinosaurs in Jurassic World, that one super dinosaur, didn't that have a healing factor too?
The super dinosaur.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
the one they created, it had. I feel like it had healing too.
yeah. I don't know. I gave up on these dinosaurs. I mean.
We have to keep going back to Jurassic Park.
We do.
Okay?
We keep going back there, and
They have so much true science in it.
yes, I don't know why you bring back these dinosaurs. Why do they need to have healing factor? Like, it's not like they don't have the advantage already over humans, but we have to give them healing factor.
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm a say no on that one.
Superman heals by the sun.
Yes, Superman does heal. Does he heal? He does heal, right? Because when he got beat down by a Doomsday and killed, he did heal. But it was no sun. He was in the coffin, right? And they bury him. What was left of his pulped body.
Oh, that part I don't remember.
Sure. I don't know. Photons, healing by the power of photons.
Is he a plant then?
Does he get? Yes.
Is a photosynthesis.
He sounds like a plant. Like the yellow sun powers his energy and his heat powers. You know, he has that eye candy episode. We talked about that. Yeah, Superman. More hand waving. I guess we're just there. Okay, who else? Who else you got?
Dracula in Renfield.
Right. Well, most vampires have that.
I was just thinking Nick Cage because
We do. Nick Cage.
it's Nick Cage.
Marvel and Nick Cage gets lots of love on this. So Nick Cage got to come on. Got to come on out here and chat with us.
Blood. Like, is there enough in blood to fuel someone else's healing
Well, I mean,
with their calorie intake?
right. I think more it's the calories.
Does
I'm
blood have calories?
Well, yeah, all
Like,
food. I mean, there's calories involved, but we'll time it up here. I want to put a pin on this because we're going to be doing a whole episode on vampires.
I'm just opening it up for the
like Nick is spoiling it, but in the great month of October, we're going to have an episode on vampires. We're going to be taking a field trip. Vampires, werewolves. It's going to be possessions. It's going to be a fun month. So look forward to that. So we're going to put a pin in a vampire because I want to save all that for the vampire episode. Sorry, people. You got to wait. You got to.
I just like to tease. You know?
Yes. Hang on the edge of those seats every week. No, but yeah, I think on all this, calories, and then we think about the cell factors, cell differentiation, cell signaling. You have to have all those things there. So you would need, if the vampire, I said put a pin, or whatever organism needs to regenerate, it would have to have that caloric input. And if that happens to be blood, meat, whatever, you have to take it enough to actually heal. So, and stop aging or things like that, right? So, yeah.
I think that's going to be a rabbit hole we're going to have to go down.
We will, I'm sure.
The anti-aging.
Anti-aging.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot there.
Yes. Yep.
Because, you know, me being immortal and everything, you know.
Yes. Yeah, you're immortal. You've been here.
It's going to be in
forever.
the rabbit hole of research lore now.
That's right. What is your caloric intake?
Not enough or too much. I'm not sure.
Like that. I mean, it's 2,500 calories per hour. Man, that's like my day. More like 2,000, 2,100. I don't know.
I can honestly say I don't know.
Yeah. You don't know.
I just drink a lot of coffee and
So I'm gonna go to which coffee doesn't have a lot of calories. You put sugar, cold foam. That's where all your calories come from.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The coffee itself, just water, maybe 5-10 calories a cup. I don't know, pretty low. You gotta drink a lot of cups. I wonder what the LD50 for coffee is. Is it like 20 cups, 30 cups? So
There's a good question. I just don't know what LD50 means.
Yeah, it's a lethal dose.
Oh.
And so the lethal dose is how much would kill 50% of a population of test animals.
I think I read somewhere once that if you have enough caffeine, you can hallucinate. I've yet to get to that point, but I've tried. So, like, it's like, what, I think today I had about 12 shots of espresso, and I did not hallucinate. So, it has to be more than 12 shots.
I'm looking this up. It's like 150 to 200 milligrams per kilogram of body mass. It's the LD50 for caffeine, which is roughly 75 to 100 cups of coffee for a 70 kilogram adult. So that's, and for those, I know, Nick, were you doing the math?
No.
And it's a
absolutely
70,
not.
You look like you were calculating.
No.
I was giving you some space to spit it out.
I have no math ability in my head.
70 kilograms, about 154 pounds. So that's kind of like there you go. So 70 cups.
So I have to drink a lot more coffee.
Yeah, you're safe. You're good to go. So you can coast through your day. I think other things will stop you before you die.
We'll find out next time on Rabbit Hole of Research.
I've made it to 40 cups. Yes,
well, Joe, I finished my beer.
I got one more.
Oh, you did?
I do. You were going all into Marvel, and I still have a few swallows.
I'm shocked.
I'm gonna take a swallow there, but we always have a little anime love, and so I'm gonna go Attack on Titan. The humans and Titan form, they can regenerate.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So they can regenerate, and so when they have the power to Titan, they can, as long as they have the will to live and their nape isn't destroyed, but they can come back, they can regenerate in their entire body, arms, legs, so yeah, pretty cool. And then the interesting thing is when they're regenerating, they have a little steam, and I didn't think about it until I was getting ready for this episode, but then I'm like, is that steam the heat generated from their caloric output?
Interesting.
Right?
I didn't even think of that.
But then I'm like, what are these Titans eating? I mean, the regenerate, we talk about how many calories. It looked like they didn't have a lot of food to go around. So,
I feel like they just end up eating dirt, no?
Right.
Like,
and so if you were one of these Titans, because some points in the episode, I don't want to, I guess, is this a spoiler? I don't know. But they didn't know who the Titans were that were humans, right? That was like kind of the twist of the episodes. I'm not gonna say who, but they didn't know. But I was like, oh, you would know, because when they did whatever they did and tried to come back into the population, maybe they had an injury or something, wouldn't they have to eat a lot, right? Once again, I go back to this caloric thing. Like, couldn't you tell, like, man, why is that person eating 2,500 calories an hour? Like,
because everyone is calculating everyone's
that's right. Yeah,
calories.
they're like eating slices of bread, but you're like can I get another piece? Like, you would or wasting away or not be able to actually go into Titan form. They don't talk about that either. Like to actually generate that much cell material that fast to generate. I mean, that's, yeah, you have some caloric thing. And I guess they eat the people. There's no, technically they're not doing it for nutrition, right? That's in like the Titan lore.
Yeah.
But maybe they are.
I mean, that would make sense to like,
right.
All right, well, I'm going to eat all these, but it's not going to really be a factor that is, why I'm doing it. But it's like, oh, it's a benefit of doing it.
Right.
The benefits of eating humans.
Or, yeah. I guess because humans were all around. There were no farm animals. I didn't see any farm animals or anything.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, they didn't. Okay.
I mean, that's because they were all eaten by the humans.
They were all eaten. And I want to finish the episode kind of on one other thing, because we talked about all the other animals. And I guess we didn't talk about humans. But there are some regenerative things in humans already that we can build off of. So we don't have to go all the way to the animal model. But the liver, it's known that about 25%, you can have 25% of liver, and it can regenerate back to a full functioning liver. So that's kind of cool. And they're trying to understand more of that and how that works. And can you extend that to other organs like the heart, brain, lungs? Your skin continuously regenerates, right?
I mean, just like your hair too, no?
Well, your hair
isn't that just dead cells?
The hair is a protein filament growing from follicles, but the skin is actually living, continuously regenerating there. Your intestinal lining regenerates, through digestion. You're sloughing off some of your, blood cells regenerate. I mean, you have regrowth and regeneration of blood cells that you have. Your fingertips can regenerate to some degree. So there's a few little bits around that can regenerate and come back. So humans, we have a little bit of regenerative.
I feel like
power.
our bodies just need to figure it out now.
They just need to figure it out. Like just kind of get those instructions.
Figure it out.
Do what you got to do. The will to live or regenerate.
It's so low, apparently.
It's like, we don't eat enough calories. It's got to. No, that will not work. Please, out there in the real world, just because you eat more doesn't mean you're going to be able to regenerate.
No, I'm going to cut off my finger tonight. Get ready. That's going to be the first video.
He's got a stack of pizzas. You're dozens of Big Macs. I don't know if you could eat dozens of yeah.
I think there's someone that has.
You're probably right, but 50,000 calories worth. Yeah, that's a good bit of Big Macs.
People do those eating competitions all the time.
They do, you're right. And that's a lot of calories.
And they don't regenerate anything.
They regenerate their will to live.
Do they? I eat enough of anything and I'm like, I want to die.
Yeah, so it's kind of, do you watch did you watch the hot dog eating contest?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like hot dogs, really.
That's the only reason why you don't watch it. I don't like hot dogs. I don't watch it. I only want to watch people eat things I want to eat too.
That's right, yeah. Like the ice cream sundae eating competition. I'll watch that.
I just want to eat a bunch of sushi and hang out.
How many calories are in sushi? How many sushi rolls would one need to eat to regenerate? Wolverine. We need to test Wolverine out. Like, that comic, yeah. There should be a whole series of comics like, what's Wolverine eating? Regenerate.
How much intake do they take? Have the Wolverine eat a bunch on a food competition.
There you go. Maybe that's what he does on the side.
He just does food competitions every day.
Professor X is like, hey, your food bill is getting out of hand. So he just goes and it's like, eat this, 100-ounce steak in an hour and you get it for free. And he just goes and finds.
They have so many of those. They're like, all right, you're cut off, man. You're done.
Around. He has to wear like disguise.
He puts on a mustache.
He goes. And he just drives around doing eating competitions to keep up with his caloric intake.
My question is, how does he always come back with the same facial hair?
I don't. So he starts with just a sack of bloody skin ball. I don't even.
A sack of bloody skin ball.
Don't even. That's where it crosses the line for me.
Just a sack of bloody skin ball.
So I don't like that comic line. I don't like the whole regenerating from a drop of blood or nothing. Even Deadpool, I don't like. I like they have to have some core meat, particularly the head. Like if anything, if they get decapitated, you can make an argument that maybe they can grow from the head, but they need.
Girls like
I think they still need all the things we talked about. They need to be able to digest and get calories, because growing a human is a hefty caloric load.
I mean, there is that Deadpool flying head, and he doesn't regrow the rest of his body. But I'm pretty sure he's a zombie. We'll find out.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in the movie. Maybe we'll do a little post field trip review.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be right after the...
Yeah, that's right. Right. It's going to be 2 days after. I'm excited.
Well...
Yeah. I think that's...
Did you watch anything that really stuck out for this?
I watched Fifth Element. I really did. I don't find any reason to watch Fifth Element, but someone regenerates in it. And so I did actually watch that because of that. And then I started watching Predator after that, but there's no regeneration in that. So that's just where...
You just really wanted to watch The Predator.
I just really wanted to watch that. Yeah, no, I think that's...
I feel like you've been watching the Predator movies since we started this.
Predator is one of those movies. My dad used to watch it all the time. It was on all the time. So I probably can recite the lines and the one-liners. And yeah, so just yes. The whole deforesting scene in there where they just shoot down that poor forest, the Groots of the world.
All them Groots.
All those Groots in that jungle just got mercifully killed. But they can regenerate. You're right. Groot can regenerate because he was a little twig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you started this whole plant thing from.
Yes. That is
based
exactly.
on Groot.
We never went any further with that.
No, because that's not how you do it. So, no.
But I mean, he does
that's because he's Groot.
He lost his arm and he...
Yes, he regenerated the arm. Yes,
like a plant.
Yes, we covered this. We're at the end now. We covered this. We talked about that in the cloning episode. Didn't we talk about how plants get cloned? Yes, we did. Yeah. So go back to that episode and listen. That episode 10, 11, because it was double
11.
one. It was the one was cloned. How about yourself? You watch anything?
I actually watched The Mummy again.
The Mummy.
I watched. I think the first and the third, and. Actually, the third one had their guy who ended up regenerating with fire. But, like, he was also already dead, and I think he was clay. I was really sleepy while watching that one.
Sounds that way. Like a golem?
Yes.
Yeah. Not really regeneration.
Yes and no. So, since he's already dead, no. But, like, half of his face was missing, and then fire just went...
And then it came back. Like Voldemort?
Yeah. What?
Voldemort from Harry Potter?
What?
Then he regenerated, didn't he?
Does he?
Yeah, he was on the back of that guy's head. I can't remember. Remember?
No.
Voldemort? From Harry Potter.
I know what you're talking about.
Antagonist of the whole series.
I thought he was just like a spirit on him.
No, he grew into a person.
Okay.
Voldemort came back into
I honestly cannot remember anything from Harry Potter.
Now we're going to get the Harry Potter fans calling in. So
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, he regenerated. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was on the back of his head. Like,
I just thought he, like, because...
No, and then he got a body and he formed and he had to eat. He was eating.
But didn't
things.
he get, like, expelled from the back of his head? And then, like, he was like...
and
then, like, flew around the room.
Yeah, but he then grew his own physical body. He had to get, like, nutrients. He had to get calories.
I honestly don't remember him growing a body, but I know he had a body
at the end because he was fighting Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know that. I just don't know where the body came from.
All right, maybe, yeah. You think he took over a body?
Maybe. He doesn't have a nose,
right,
so, like, did he just, like, inhabit a
snake? That's because he didn't grow. He didn't need enough calories to actually get that nose back.
He also didn't get enough sunlight.
Well, that's a different thing. All right.
That was such a weird way to end this episode.
It is a pretty. Went down some rabbit hole we did not intend. Extended this thing by like 5 minutes. Everyone's like, "Are they done yet?" I thought they were. I done their beers. Was a 1 beer episode. Yes. All right. So I think that's it. We've gone down, explored several of many rabbit holes,
and opened up new holes.
And we opened up new holes. We're going to be that future episode, past episode. just keep your ears out because we're coming. We're coming.
We'll have some new stuff coming down the line.
New stuff, old stuff, future stuff, past stuff.
We are both then and now.
We're both. And I am Joe.
You got Nick.
This is Nick.
You went down some holes.
That's it. Stay good, people. Love
Bye.
you.